Okay, here's Adam Spector, critic at large with Oren.
Hey everyone, this is Oren, and I'm here with my good friend Adam. We've blogged together, we've known each other. He runs a film club, and he also runs a series at Bethesda. Adam, you have seen a lot of movies this year. I've seen about 28. Have you seen 28, or do you think you've seen a few more than 28?
A few more than 20.
How many movies have you seen?
I haven't counted yet, but probably in the between 200 and 250.
200! Oh my god, that's insane. Do you sleep at night? How do you do that?
I do sleep at night. It's
200! That's crazy. I'm just reacting strongly to it. Alright.
But yeah, I like to.
Let's talk about our top five. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I know we got
please.
Let's talk about our top 5 films of the year. We're going to talk about them. What's your fifth best film of the year?
My fifth best film of the year was a surprise to me. The Two Popes. A lot stronger visually than I thought it would. 2 terrific lead performances by Jonathan Pryce and Anthony Hopkins, and it was surprisingly funny, and it also dealt with some weighty questions.
What were some of the weighty questions? And I also was wondering, it seemed like a film that was like My Dinner with Andreas, that was like very conversation heavy. What is it?
That's what I thought it would be too, but they actually have some strong visual elements. Some of the issues it gets into are adherence to tradition versus the need for change.
All right, my number 5 film is Booksmart, which is a film that Adam actually recommended to me. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a film about 2 kids on their last night before high school. Some people have compared it to Superbad. Their last night before graduating high school. I think it's actually more of a successor to a lesser-known film called Cedar Rapids with Ed Helms. And it's actually better than both. I think it's such a great high school film because a lot of times these high school films are based around archetypes. And these are characters that go like beyond skin deep, like the motivations of every character is really explored. There's so many kind of great breakout characters, and the 2 characters at the center. I really liked Billy Lord's take as like the waif kind of Geely. Did you see Booksmart?
I did, and I enjoyed it. I agree with everything you said. It was very intelligent, very funny. I wish it had done better at the box office.
All right, and your number 4. Let's hear your number 4.
My number 4 is Marriage Story, a searing portrayal of a couple going through a difficult divorce. I thought it was very even-handed. It shows you both sides of the story, terrific lead performances by Driver and Johansson, and a great supporting turn by Laura Dern.
I actually liked Marriage Story a lot. One thing for me is that I think it was advertised a bit as comic, and it was completely dramatic, which I didn't mind. I hope some people weren't misled, but then again, it's free on Netflix, so it's not like you're going to pay $12 and be misled. Like, you're going to be, like, angry about that.
Yeah, it had some funny elements, but it was definitely a drama.
And I also think that I feel like no one I've talked to about the movie has seen it for the, like, tale of villainy and, like, crushing, like economic hardship that, like, these 2 people faced. Like, for me, like, Ray Liotta and Laura Dern's characters, and I love both their performances, but they were like villains.
Well, I didn't see them as villains, but they certainly didn't help matters. So, Warren, what's your number 4 film?
I really like The Good Liar. It starred Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen, and these 2 people. It's about an old man who's a con artist, and it waits. It takes its time before revealing the reveal of his true nature, but not too long. It's a film with great twists. It's directed by Bill Condon, but even without the twists, I think it would just be a great film it would just have a really great mood. Like, something's not on the level as Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen are interacting. Did you see The Good Liar?
I did, and I thought it was a very fun film, made the most of its actors. I could tell they were having a good time, and it's certainly worth seeing. It actually, I kind of fold that into to my next film, which is Knives Out, which is just a really funny kind of a mystery story. It doesn't go where you expect it to. A great ensemble cast, and just a very intelligent film from Rian Johnson.
We'll comment on that when I get to Knives Out. My number 3 film is Britney Runs a Marathon. It is a film about a woman who decides to put her life together, and she decides she's gonna run a race because she's getting overweight. She has a sense of disorder in her life, and it's not just that kind of romantic comedy disorder where it's like, I can't find a man, I can't find a job. It's like serious health disorder. It's like, I'm unhealthy, I don't have directions, I need a new set of friends. It covers so many facets of a person's life that isn't really explored in movies. And as someone who's ever, tried to get in shape, it really, really dramatizes that process while also being hilarious. And the friendships in the movie are so organic. There's a character played by Michaela Watkins who wants to be her friend, and it has a big psychological profile of the lead character who has a tendency of not letting people into her life. Did you see Britney Runs a Marathon?
I did not.
Oh my God, that never happens. That I see a movie that Adam hasn't.
I've heard good things about it, but I just didn't catch it. But I think I'll try to on video now.
So you might say it's your 201st best movie by default.
Yes.
Because All right, what is your number 2? Is it 2?
Yeah, we are 2. My number 2 film is 1917.
Okay.
A brilliantly staged and executed war film set in World War One. They make it look like it was all filmed in one take, and it's a compact story, but it takes you through a lot of twists and turns, and it puts you there in a way that I haven't seen maybe since Private Ryan.
So I sometimes wonder, does this thing, because I haven't seen this film yet, I am familiar with Sam Mendes. I heard that Benedict Cumberbatch is in it, so I'm as much of a Benedict Cumberbatch as the next person. I'm a fan of the guy.
Yeah, he and Colin Firth and Andrew Scott and Mark Strong have small roles, but it's 2 lesser known actors that have the leads.
So I guess the question is, you have to ask, because there have been a lot of war movies that have been produced about the same wars. There have been a lot of World War I movies. Does this film do something that those movies haven't? And also, think about Birdman. Didn't Birdman do the same thing? Does this thing do something different that Birdman did? They had the same camera work. All one shot.
I mean, in the sense all in one shot, but the movements that it takes are very different than the one in Birdman, and it's a very different. It's using it for a different type of story.
All right, my number 2 film is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Not as familiar with Quentin Tarantino's 1990s work, so I'm not coming into this as a Quentin Tarantino fan or deterrent. I just know him as a guy who's really knowledgeable about other people's movies and really loves celluloid film, right? He doesn't like digital, he loves celluloid, right?
Yep.
So I just thought this film really blew me away. There's so much to think about. It plays around with. It has a sort of a sense of a Western, which I think is really great. And I mean, what's the theme of it? It's a film that you can discuss a lot. It's a film also that the idea of making your own ending is something he did in Inglourious Basterds. He did it well, and I'm okay with him doing the same trick twice. Do you think it was a bit of a cheap ending, or we won't spoil it, but we'll say it's an ending that
the ending lost me a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall I enjoyed the film. I'm a big Tarantino fan, and certainly that is, it's a solid effort by him. Maybe I didn't like it quite as much as everyone else did, but I would still suggest, anyone who hadn't seen it, I think should.
But in your top, would it be among your top 10 or 20 or whatever?
Or? Maybe top 20.
It sounds like you didn't love it.
Probably not top 10.
I mean, it might be a little overloaded, but in some senses, like a Terrence Malick movie where you're just loving the mood. Like Good Liar, I just like the mood of it the whole time.
Yeah, I did like the mood. It's a good hangout.
Yeah. So what's your number 1? What's your best film of the year?
My number 1 film as of right now, today, subject to change by the end of the year, is The Irishman. Martin Scorsese's new film, really going back to the gangster genre that he helped define in modern times. But with a very different take, kind of taking a lot of the visceral thrills out there and kind of showing it as a job that people do, and everything that's involved with that, but doing it through a historical lens. I think De Niro's terrific. Al Pacino, Joe Pesci. You also have Harvey Keitel and